Really? Every time I turn the camera on. Really? Hey? Really? Hello. This is a 1,000 litre IBC unit. I'm going to use this as a rainwater catchment unit. As you know, we're on tank water here, so any rainwater we can catch we can use on the gardens and the trees, and it's always handy to have. I've got one already around the back of the shed set up. This one here is going to be the next one. So first jobs first, we've got to clear a way for a space for it, which I'm going to put it next to the existing tank. So time to do a bit of work and clean up the area and go from there. So we've cleared out the space. This is the existing water tank. This is where I'm going to put the new water tank. We'll probably set it maybe 100 mil higher than this tank. So this tank will be the first fill, and then from that it'll fill the second tank, which is this one here. So the next thing to do is put some piles in. I'm going to run 4 piles in a line with each other, so we'll get them all marked out and the holes dug for those. So where they go. Two down, 2 to go. You're in trouble. Hey, what are you doing? Okay. 600. 3 down, 1 to go. $600. Right, that's 4 holes done. Thank God. Next step, we're going to pour some foundations for the piles. Why are we pouring some foundations for the piles? Let me answer that question for you. So why are we putting footings into the pile holes? Alright, There's two different post holes that we generally use in landscaping and building and that sort of thing. And one is a post hole and one is a pile hole. Now, each is affected by different forces. For post holes, of course, you can build fences and you can build retaining walls. And of course, the force that is applied to these posts is generally coming from the side. So if you're building a retaining wall, the force is coming from the side. And if you're building a fence with wind and so forth, the force is coming from the side. So there's very little force going down on the post. So generally when you're putting a post in for retaining walls, you dig in the hole, you're putting a bit of metal at the bottom to allow water to drain away from the bottom of the post, and then you're concreting it in, and that's a post. Now why don't we do the same thing for a pile? Well, the reason we don't is a pile's weight is not coming from the side, it's coming from the top. So all the weight is being put to the top of the post, not to the side, to the top. So of course with our water tank we're going to have 1,000 litres, which is equivalent to almost a ton of weight on top of that post. So if we were to do it the same as a fence post, you'll get over time with the weight and the continual pressure, the post will actually work its way down and through the concrete. With the expansion and contraction of the timber, it'll collar, the concrete would act like a collar, and the post will be driven down into the ground with the weight, the constant pressure of the weight. So that's why when we put a pile in and the pressure's coming down, we put a footing in. So we're going to pour this footing, all right, and what that creates is a platform. So that's 100 mil we're pouring, and that's creating a 100 mil platform. So what happens is when the weight comes down through the post and hits that platform, it's then dispersed into the ground in different directions. And it allows the weight to be dispersed evenly. So I've got 4 post holes, we've got a ton on top of it, that's 250 kilos of constant weight on the top of that post. So hence we need to put a good footing in, so that post sits on there. The other difference between fence posts and piles is generally piles are bigger. So a pile post, the ones I've got, are 125 mil. Whereas generally fence posts are 100 mil. But that's why we have a difference in the holes in what we're doing, is because of the different forces being applied to each process. Different forces to retaining walls and posts, as you can see, and different forces on piles. And that's why we do things a little bit differently. So the next job, let's pour our footing. Put a mark on the side of the wall here. That mark there, that's 100 mil. And I want to pour the footing to that line, to 100 mil. And then we just tamp it out, get into all the corners and bits and pieces and make sure it's completely stamped down. And we fill the next one up. footing's done. One down, 3 to go. Good. 2 down, 2 to go. Post is set. Next thing is clean all this up. Alright, next is we'll cut the post off at height. One down, 3 to go. Good. That way. That way. Good. So the piles are in, cut to height. The next thing is the framing for the top on the pile, top of the piles, for the water tank to go on, and the plumbing to plumb the two tanks together. But that'll be in the next video. Yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.